Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW
It is
West
dire
Texas.
need for us to retain our employees and to recruit and to also fill the many positions that we still have open.
All City of Odessa employees will see a $1,500 boost in their next paycheck. The details of where that money is coming from in just a few minutes here on CBS 7 News at 9. Thanks for joining us here on the CW, and thanks for joining us live on CBS 7 YouTube. I'm Jay Hendricks. We start tonight tracking crime. This man you're about to see, 18-year-old Javen Landreth, has been arrested and charged with capital murder in connection to a shooting that happened at the Carriage House Apartments in Odessa back on June 29th. According to the city, Landreth is being held at being treated, at Medical Center Hospital for injuries he got from the shooting. He is the second person to be arrested in connection to the shooting. You'll remember 16-year-old known as Queso was taken into custody and charged with capital murder on Wednesday of this week. Investigators are still looking for a third person. Kanan Shorter is considered a fugitive from justice, and there is a warrant out for his arrest. If you have any information about the shooting, you are urged to contact Odessa Crime Stoppers. A woman in Big Spring has been arrested for animal cruelty against her dog. That's according to Big Spring police. Animal control sent out to check out a shepherd mix that looks sick. The dog was infected with ticks and appeared anemic. Ultimately, animal control decided to euthanize the dog. The case was turned over to police and warrants were sent for the caretakers of the dog. This woman, Sandra Huey, was charged with cruelty to non-livestock animals, failing to provide care. Midland Health Services Department is confirming a mosquito in Midland tested positive for West Nile virus. That's according to the city. They say health services put out mosquito traps around the county and that a sample from those traps was sent to State Health Services, where one tested positive. The city confirmed 80% of people who are infected show no symptoms at all, but if you get a mosquito bite and then get fever, nausea, fatigue, or aching muscles and joints, consider seeing your doctor. To prevent mosquito bites, they offer this information like wearing an EPA-registered insect repellent, dump standing water around your home, use window screens to prevent bugs from coming inside, and limit outdoor activities during sunrise and sunset, which they say are peak mosquito times. The World Health Organization has deemed aspartame as an artificial sweetener and possible carcinogen. CBS 7's Jensen Young spoke with a doctor today to learn more about the research behind this new classification and some tips to remember. Jensen?
The WHO now sees aspartame as potentially cancerous if consumed heavily, but it is still safe up to some limits. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame are in many products like gum, processed foods, and diet sodas. The best advice is if you're going to drink diet soda or eat processed foods, do so in moderation.
Both the FDA and the WHO all recognize that these are still safe to consume, that they're not saying that you will get cancer if you consume them and that you shouldn't. It's just that we need to be careful in moderation, making sure that you don't exceed daily limits.
The FDA recommends that you do not consume more than 50 milligrams per kilogram that you weigh each day. The WHO puts that number at 40 milligrams per kilogram. That levels out to about a 12-pack of Diet Coke for a 150-pound person. Aspartame joins more than 300 other possible cancer-causing agents.
All of us every day are exposed to carcinogens in one way or another. Exhaust fumes, red meat, aloe vera. There's all kinds of stuff out there that has some, classification on the cancerous or carcinogen list.
The research by the World Health Organization is limited and will require further studying.
Ultimately, the evidence is not very conclusive because it hasn't been studied in humans in large meta-analysis studies. But the studies they do have do show that there are some potential cancer risks. They're minimal, but they are some potential cancer risks that individuals need to be aware of.
As always, the best drink with no calories and no artificial sweeteners is water. For CBS 7 First Alert News, I'm Jensen Young.
All right, it's time now to talk your weather forecast. Triple digits. We've been seeing them for a lot of days. It looks like that's going to continue at least throughout your weekend. We're going to get an update from CBS 7 First Alert meteorologist Sawyer McElroy. She is here to get us up to date on our weekend forecast. Sawyer?
Yes, Jay, it is very hot out there, and luckily the sun is starting to go down, but we're not going to see those temperatures cooling very much for the overnight hours. We do still have a couple of weather alerts in effect through 9 p.m. tomorrow for areas pretty much all across West Texas and Southeast Mexico for hot temperatures. And taking a look at those current temperatures across the region, 99 here in Odessa, 97 in Midland, still 101 in Pecos, even at this 9 o'clock hour. Some lower 90s across the area, but still relatively warm across most of the region. And some gusty winds, gusts up to about 25 miles per hour in Fort Stockton, 17 miles per hour in Alpine, but the sustained winds anywhere from about 5 to 15 miles per hour at the present time. And looking at live radar, we had a few showers across parts of the region, but those are starting to kind of fizzle out for tonight, though. Like I said, not dropping those temperatures very much. We're going to remain warm through the overnight hours, and those triple-digit temperatures aren't going anywhere anytime soon.
The Midland City Council working on upgrading Beal Park into a $35 million soccer field complex. The complex will consolidate games for the soccer community while offering better parking for parents and families.
Quality of life has been a hot topic the past few months. This is just going to add to it.
The Midland City Council is planning a $35 million upgrade to make Beal Park a 60-field soccer complex.
I'm excited about that because as a parent, you're scrambling from Butler Park and Winlands Park, and it's going to consolidate all the fields in one location.
District 4 Councilwoman Amy Stretcher-Burke says the funding will come from different sources.
Council made a commitment to using our oil and gas revenue funds for parks, so we will use some of that. And then it's also I'm hoping we can have a public-private partnership. I think that's important. A lot of people have expressed interest, a lot of companies, in helping us.
Parks and Recreation is working with Dunaway to make development plans as they created the master plan. Assistant Community Services Director Lori Williams says the focus is moving Midland Soccer Association to Beal Park.
A great location to have Beal be our soccer facility. This has been being talked about for about 12 years. We know that it's something Midland Soccer Association wants to see, and it will be great for the sports community of Midland.
Right now, the plan is divided into 4 phases. The first is building turf soccer fields while utilizing current fields. The second phase is the amphitheater, which includes a playground and splash pad. The third is additional fields and parking, and the fourth is RV spots and more parking. Burke says phase 1 and phase 3 will be completed first.
So we would like to see those games moved out there, probably not next spring, but spring of 2025.
The next step is determining funding allocation, drafting the construction documents, and putting them out for bid so they can go to work.
The next step is determining funding allocation, drafting the construction documents, and putting them out for bid so they can go to work. Over 100 members have joined the Kellis Turner Park Improvement Project on Facebook. The project's goal is to change how people view West Odessa.
I think it's really important that we change the look and the feel of what Odessa has been represented as, and that starts by bringing the community together and people wanting to say, okay, let's not throw our trash. Let's not do stuff that's not supposed to happen. Let's take pride in the place we live in again and bring that back.
If you'd like to join in, the cleanup process will begin tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. If you live in the Permian Basin and love Little League Baseball, Monahans may be the place to be. Ward County Commissioners approved to spend $5.5 million on renovating its ballparks. The last time these fields were renovated was in the 60s. Fields are rocky, uneven, and most of the metal fencing is rusty. Apart from field upgrades, people that live in Ward County can expect new dugouts, concession stands, and bleachers, but that's not all they are doing to improve their town.
We just built a brand new park near the event center. So we're more into, I guess what you could say what we're doing now is quality of life stuff for our kids and our youth in our community.
Commissioner Nelm says that some parts of these renovations could be done by September, but they expect the entire project to be complete before March. All City of Odessa employees will see a $1,500 boost in their next paycheck. City is using funds from an unexpected surplus in sales tax revenues. Currently, the city has generated $9 million more in sales tax revenue than it projected. It's using about $1.5 million to help employees.
Everybody wants to be appreciated at work. Everybody wants to be appreciated at home. And, a lot of pats on the back saying, attaboy, good job. But there's nothing that is more satisfying, more gratifying when you see a little of money that's backed up with it.
The city hopes this will help employees with things like paying bills, school supplies, or even summer fun. During the first week of August, the city will begin its budgeting process. That's when they'll decide how to use the rest of the surplus.
I don't want to have to close. But it's definitely starting to look like a reality for me. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know why things have gotten so bad. I really don't. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you, and thank you.
After struggling to keep her store open, Cowboy Spirits owner Dana Howery took to social media to inform her loyal customers that this might be the end. It's a story you'll only see here on CBS7. Cowboy Spirits has been open to people in the area since December of 2021. During that time, we know what was going on, and co-owner Dana Howery has seen the highs and lows of business. Her journey after that hasn't been easy either. The first 6 months after opening Cowboy Spirits saw many of the typical small business struggles. But after that, Dana saw success and a steady flow of customers. Until this past March, when Cowboy Spirits saw less and less faces coming into the store. Because of that, she's had to make some sacrifices.
I've taken a lot away from my family to make sure that this store stays open, or trying to keep it open. But it's hard. Once you get into a hole, it's really hard to get out of it. So.
Because of the struggles in the store, Dana decided to post to social media to let her supporters know the problems that were weighing on her. That post got shared and people responded, coming into the store and shopping. In the community, Ector County employees took to the Noel Heritage Plaza for an appreciation event today. County employees from every department got to mingle and catch up with each other as they enjoyed live music, food, and activities like a dunk tank. Show of appreciation was thanks to the judge and commissioners.
We just want them to walk away feeling like they're appreciated by not only the judge and the county commissioners, but by other county offices as well, because one county office doesn't function without the other. So just that we're all a big team here at the county.
Families were also invited to help join in on those summer activities. Now for a look at today's top headlines shown here in real time with real viewers at CBS7.com. You can see all of these stories and more by downloading our app or visiting our website at CBS7.com. Still ahead, after more than a decade, police say they have solved one of the most notorious serial killer cases in U.S. history. Next on CBS7 News at 9, how a pizza crust helped lead authorities to an arrest. A New York architect was arrested at his home and charged with murder in a long, unsolved string of killings known as the Gilgo Beach murders. CBS News correspondent Michael George has more.
Rex, did you do it?
Police on Long Island arrested a suspect in the deaths of 3 women in a series of killings known as the Gilgo Beach murders. Authorities say Rex Hewerman is the suspected serial killer they've been hunting for over a decade.
Rex Hewerman is a demon that walks among us.
Investigators say Hewerman has long lived across a bay from where the women's remains were found in 2010. Several years after they vanished, their bodies, wrapped in burlap, were recovered along the side of a parkway near the ocean.
For the next 13 years, their cases went unsolved until today.
59-year-old Hewerman is accused of killing 3 sex workers, Melissa Bartholomew, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello.
For each of the murders, he got an individual burner phone, and he used that to communicate with the victims. Then shortly after the death of the victims, he then would get rid of the burner phone.
Hewerman is also considered the prime suspect in the death of a 4th woman. The case took a recent turn when police tied Hewerman to a pickup truck seen at the time one of the victims disappeared. In March, detectives working on the case say they recovered the suspect's DNA from a pizza crust he threw away in a New York City trash can. Authorities say they matched the DNA to a hair found on a restraint used in the killings.
We're continuing to execute search warrants, and we anticipate getting more evidence.
Hewerman pleaded not guilty at his arraignment Friday, and the judge ordered him held without bail based on the heinous nature of the murders. His next court date is August 1st. Michael George, CBS News, Gilgo Beach, New York.
There's another hot one across West Texas and Southeast New Mexico today, and bad news is those triple digits aren't going anywhere anytime soon. More details on that coming up after the break.
Now, your CBS7 First Alert weather forecast.
Happy Friday, everyone. I hope everybody has been staying cool because it was another hot one today. And taking a look at our current weather alerts, we do have an excessive heat warning for the Davis, Guadalupe, and Delaware Mountains and a heat advisory in effect until 9 p.m. tomorrow. Taking a look at our observed highs today, we got up to 105 here in Odessa, 104 in Midland, 109 in Pecos, 102 in Alpine. So definitely very hot across West Texas and Southeast New Mexico today. Looking at our current temperatures, still relatively warm, 99 here in Odessa, 97 in Midland, still 101 in Pecos, but some lower 90s across the mountainous region. And those winds have been a little bit breezy today with gusts up to about 25 to 30 miles per hour across some spots, but the sustained winds anywhere from about 10 to 15 miles per hour. We had a few showers and thunder showers across portions of southeast New Mexico and the mountainous areas, but those are starting to kind of fizzle out for the most part. We're seeing clear and quiet conditions for the majority of us this evening. And for our weather headlines tonight, looking at mainly clear skies and warm conditions, not cooling us down very much. Temperatures are going to be hot with those triple digits continuing, and precipitation-wise, minimal rain chances ahead. And that is all due to a high pressure system that is not moving anywhere anytime fast, definitely keeping us warm, quiet, and dry. And for our future cast heading through the overnight hours, mainly clear skies, and like I said, those quiet conditions for our Saturday, going to be warm again. The chance for some kind of straight isolated showers and thunderstorms across southeast New Mexico and the mountainous areas once again tomorrow. Kind of a rinse and repeat forecast of what we've been seeing the past couple of days. For our highs, 102 for Odessa tomorrow, 104 in Midland, 104 in Fort Stockton as well. Alpine looking at a high of only 99, and Hobbs looking at a high of 98. So some of us will be seeing those upper 90s, but the majority of us will be in the triple digits. For our CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast, well, those triple digits not going anywhere anytime soon. Dry conditions and mostly sunny to sunny skies are on the way for the next 10 days.
Television and movie actors hit the picket line Friday after their union decided to join the Writers Guild and go on strike. The work stoppage is having an immediate impact on Hollywood. Rachel Kim reports from Los Angeles.
On strike, down. Newly striking members of SAG-AFTRA picketed Friday, joining screenwriters who have been on strike since early May.
No contracts,
no actors,
no wages,
no pages. Both unions are demanding the same thing, a better deal from the Hollywood movie studios.
We're ready to bargain today, tomorrow, next weekend, whenever.
The union's main sticking points include limiting how artificial intelligence can be used, along with pay and residuals from streaming services.
99.9% of the people that I'm fighting for right now are working class people. They are the ones that are being squeezed out.
But the studios say the walkout comes at the worst possible time for an industry facing many challenges. In a statement, the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers said the strike will lead to financial hardship for thousands of people who depend on the industry. This is the first time since 1960 that both unions have gone on strike at the same time, shutting down the industry.
So any scripted entertainment is basically off the table. All that's really left is reality TV.
The actors' strike also means that promotions on completed projects have stopped.
To save yourself.
Paramount Plus's Special Ops Lioness, starring Zoe Saldana and Nicole Kidman, had its London premiere earlier in the week, but Monday's Los Angeles red carpet has been canceled because of the strike. Rachel Kim, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Still ahead, here's some ideas for folks here in West Texas, too. Kids in Illinois beating the heat. You can kind of see why, but we're going to share the story with you coming up. All right, before we go, here's something I think is going to pique the interest of folks even here in West Texas. We all know that when it's hot, sometimes you just need to cool off, and this is creative right here. These are children in Illinois, and how do they beat the heat? Well, firefighters in East Moline helped the kids cool off in the summer heat. They sprayed in the yard, and look at them, they're just having the field day. What a great way to cool off. Released by the East Moline Fire Department, this shows the fire engine spraying water over Radden Park. Highs were up to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, which were forecast for the Quad Cities area, which includes East Moline this week. 90 degrees is nothing to us. We'd be thrilled to have 90 degrees.
I was going to say, I'd love the 90 degrees, but maybe the Midland and Odessa fire departments can take notes and maybe do this.
You know, you always go to the splash parks. We have splash parks around here, which are good, or just stay in the shade, but a creative way, and it did help. And as you can see, the water went first, and the kids went, let's go play in it. That's a natural attraction.
Yeah, no, that's perfect, especially for our West Texas heat. We're going to see those temperatures sticking around in the triple digits for at least the next 10 days, but honestly wouldn't be surprised if those triple digits stuck with us through the rest of July. So going to be a hot one coming up.
And no rain in that forecast. Sawyer, thank you. Thanks for joining us here for CBS 7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW.